Now that 2025 is in the rearview mirror, we're going to be taking a look and ranking all the cars that were added over the last year, which is actually about 80. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into the video. Sorry if I miss a car or added a car that wasn't added this year. I had to do all those by myself, so sorry in advance. But anyways, let's get into the video. So now we're actually on the tier list. We're going to be starting with this classic Auburn. Honestly, I forgot that this car existed until I found this picture of it, so it's going to get C tier. This, on the other hand, I think looks really cool, and there's a police version, so I'm actually going to put in A tier. I'm pretty sure it's another Auburn. This is the Wisconsin State Patrol version of, I genuinely forgot what the car is, but I do think it is cool, so I'm going to put it in B tier. Next up, we have the fictionalized. I'm not sure if it's a Saab 9.3 or Saab 9.5, but I do think it looks cool, so it's going to get A tier. Here we have a fictionalized Lexus, which it's pretty uninspiring. The design, it looks alright, so I'm put it in B tier. Then we have the fictionalized. I'm pretty sure this is the Mercedes E-Class, so there's like a regular one and then like a sporty one. I'm gonna put the regular one in B tier and the sport one in A tier. I think that's pretty cool. Here we have this is the fictionalized Western, pretty sure it's like the Circle or something like that. I probably said it wrong, but there's a coupe and a convertible. And actually, this is probably one of the best looking modern Westerns they've added thus far. If you know anything about me, you know that I hate how most of the modern Westerns look, but these actually look decent. So I'm gonna put the coupe in B and then the convertible in A, because I do think the convertible looks a little bit better and it has the interior. Next up is this fictionalized Kia. I'm pretty sure it's a Kia Sportage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was very recently added in the Christmas update, and I really like how it looks, so A tier for that. Then we have the fictionalized BMW 4 Series and M4 variant. So we have just the regular coupe, which I'm putting A tier because I think it looks really good. I like the sport, like coupe design. Then we got the sedan, which I don't like as much, so I'm putting in B tier. And then we got the M4, which I really like, so it's actually going to be the very first S tier. Then we got the another trim of the sedan, put in B tier as well. Next up, we have the first license cards, which are the two Paganis. You got the Pagani Huayra and you have the Pagani Zonda. These cars look incredible. I highly recommend you go take a look at them in the dealership because they are so interesting to look at because the detailing is fantastic. For both of them, I'm putting them in S here because they're just so cool. Next up, this was also recently added. It's this truck. I'm not sure what truck, but pretty normal. Probably going to forget about it, so C tier for that. Next up, we have the new Jaguar E-Type with an interior. I think it is a very cool car. S tier for that. And then here we have the Renault. I'm pretty sure this is the Renault 5, the old one. While I do like Renault, I'm not the biggest fan of this car, but it does look cool. Kind of like all the turbo details and the sportiness, so I'm going to give it B tier actually. And then we have another super cool Supercars, Jaguar XJ220. I love how this thing looks, and it has an interior, so S tier for that for sure. Next up, we have the Renault. I'm pretty sure it's the Renault Twingo, something like that. I probably said it wrong, but I actually really do like how this car looks. They're really cute looking, so I'm actually going to put it in A tier. Next up, we actually have my favorite car, probably out of all the cars that are added this year. This is my favorite, and it is the old Land Rover Defender 90. I just think it's so cool. So S tier for that for sure, but if there's a tier higher, I'd definitely put it in there. Next, we have the Renault Clio, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I kind of think it looks a little ugly, so I'm going to put it in C tier. Then here we have the Saleen S7. We got like the normal one, and then we got kind of like a high performance-y one. In my opinion, they both look exactly the same. I could barely tell them apart. So they're both going to get put in S tier because I think they're super cool. I love that they added Saleen. Then we have the Jaguar. So at least here there are three of them. The first one is the XK, which is the convertible, and I absolutely love. The interior is super detailed, so I'm gonna put that in S tier. And then we have the Jaguar XJ, which is probably my favorite sedan. I think it looks really, really good, so I'm gonna put that in S tier. And then we have the Jaguar XL, F, which is like kind of the smaller sedan. I'm gonna put in A tier because I think I would rather have the XJ over the XF, so that's why it's getting put in A tier. Then we have the full-size Land Rover. I'm not sure in the year. I think it's like 2022, something like that. Well, I do like Land Rover, Range Rover. I'm not the biggest fan of this car, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next up, we have the Renault Megane, which I absolutely love. I never heard of this car before it like came out with it, but I love this car so much. And I love that it's a licensed car that's pretty affordable, like $36,000. So I'm gonna put that in S tier. Then we have some more Range Rovers. We have the Range Rover Sport SVR or something like that. Really like it, very high performance and cool, so that's going to go in S tier. And then we have the Range Rover Velar, which I've always been a big fan of, so that's going to go in S tier as well. And then we have the Audi. It's actually a good amount of Audis here, starting with the R8 Spider, which I love the R8, and this one has an interior, so S tier for sure. Then we have the RS3 and RS5 and RS7. The RS3 and RS5 gonna go in S tier because I just love how they look. I love all the blacked out trim. RS7 is actually not going to go in S tier. It's going to go in A tier only because it has a silver trim. I'm not the biggest fan of that for like the sporty version. Then we have the RS6 Avant, which I love. Station wagon versions of like the Mercedes E-Class, of course Audi RS6. So yeah, definitely going to go in S tier. And then we have the Audi RSQ8, which is an amazing SUV. I love how this looks. So S tier as well. And then we have the new Land Rover Defender 90. And if you just heard me like 3 seconds ago, I said I love the old one. Well, I love the new one as well, so another S tier. Next up, we have a whole lineup of fictional Honda, starting with the old Honda Civic. We got 3 different variations. We got the coupe, then we got, I'm pretty sure, the hatchback and the sedan. And you can see, actually, that looks like, I really gotta zoom in there. I'm pretty sure that's a hatchback. There's a beater trim, which I think is really cool, so I'm actually gonna put that in A tier. The sedan's pretty boring. I'm gonna put that in B tier, but I do like the coupe a little more, so that's gonna go in A tier as well. And then we have the 2 Honda Elements, 2005, 2009. Now, I do like the fictional model, but it's kind of ugly looking, and it definitely carries over the fictional model, so I'm going to put those both in C tier. And then we have the new Honda Civics. Now, there's 3 variations of that as well. You got like the regular, and then like the SI, and then the Type R. The regular one, I'm going to put in B tier. It's pretty normal, nothing crazy. SI, I'm going to put in A tier, because that's cooler. And then you got the Spec X or the Type R, which is going to go in S tier because that's the really cool big wing high performance. And then here we have the fictionalized Honda CR-V, which is a pretty boring SUV, nothing to it, so that's going to go in B tier. And then next up we have a whole bunch of BMWs, and I think these are all 5 Series. You got some sedans and wagons and some M variants, so this is just the regular 5 Series, nothing crazy. It's going to go in A tier because I am a big fan of how these look. And then we got the wagon variant. This is also the regular one, so it's just going to go in A tier as well. And then we have, I got to scroll down here, the M5, which I think is actually super cool, and we got the M5 wagon, so those are actually going to both go in S tier because I really do like them both. So let's move those right there. And then coming down, we got to keep scrolling down. We have a bunch of fictional Aston Martins. Now, to my eye and most people's eyes, they look exactly the same, even though these are each a different variation. So all of these are going to go into A tier because they do look really good. They all just look the same. The only 2 that are going to go in S tier are these last 2 because they're like the high performance. You can see they have a stripe. The grill is blacked out. I just think they look really cool. So I'm going to move all those into, or these 2 into S tier and the rest into A tier. Actually, I had to make the screen smaller to make everything fit on here. We only got a few more cars left. Next up is the fictionalized Chevy Camaro. Now, I love how this car looks. I think it looks so great. The only reason I'm going to put the regular one in A tier is because there's a cooler one, and that is the Dog 1000 variant, which I think looks fantastic, and it's super like high performancey, so that's going to go into S tier. Then we have a bunch of BMW 2 Series, so we got the regular 2 Series, which you know A tier, and then we got pretty sure this is the maybe another regular 2 Series, gonna put that in A tier. And then we got the M2, which is really cool. I actually love how it looks and kind of drives, so that's gonna go into S tier. Next up we have a Kia something, I really don't know. It's a pretty normal, bland car, so it's going to go into B tier. Then we have a couple of westerns here. I have no idea what the name is called, but if you heard me earlier, you said how I don't generally like how modern westerns look, and this is kind of part of the case. They are not the best looking cars, so I'm going to put these all in C tier because they look alright. They look better than some westerns, but they don't look very good. Then we have probably one of my other favorite vehicles of the whole year, and it's the fictionalized Toyota Tacoma. I love how this thing looks. I think it looks so good, and there's a ton of trims to go along with it. Next up, we have the fictionalized Hyundai Genesis Coupe. I actually am a big fan of how this looks. Nothing too crazy, so that's why it's going to go into A tier. And then we have the fictionalized Bitsy Classic or Mini Cooper. It's alright. It's going to get C tier. Then we have the fictionalized Lamborghini Miura, which is it's kind of pricey and it doesn't, in my opinion, look all the greatest, so that's why it's going to get C tier as well. Then we have two more. The fictionalized BMW X7, which actually looks great. I think it's one of the best looking fictionalized BMW SUVs that they've added thus far, so that's actually going to go in S tier. And then last but maybe actually least is the fictionalized Toyota Camry. A pretty boring car, so it's going to get C tier. And there you have it. That is all the cars ranked for 2025. Comment down below if this is how you would rank your cars or if you do anything differently. I hope to see you guys in the next video.